Now, you may have heard that Pamela Anderson said some stuff about Harvey Weinstein and the women who were assaulted by him. And we're gonna kind of go through what she said, figure out what she meant by it. By the end of this segment, you'll be very happy with us and probably give us like 3 or 4 gold stars on the internet. Okay, so Pamela Anderson sat down with Megyn Kelly from the Today Show. She has a very strange hour on that show that I still haven't wrapped my mind around. But she sat down and said she chimed in on a bunch of issues, one of which was Harvey Weinstein. And we have a video. Let's check out that part of the interview.
She is an icon. As the star of Baywatch to 14 covers of Playboy magazine. But as I learned when I sat down with Pamela Anderson recently, it is her strength that's more than skin deep. It's helped her navigate overnight fame, leave an abusive marriage to a very famous man, and bring her all the way to the Kremlin. We began with her work with an anti-sexual violence organization called PAVE and its Ride Responsibly initiative, which warns about app-based ride-hailing services. Watch this exchange.
These drivers aren't regulated, so it's unsafe. I was always told, don't take a ride with a stranger. And there's this false sense of security with these apps that these people are vetted and they're not. So I think it's just something we need to consider and think about as parents. I remember my father used to say, I don't care what time of night it is.
So she talks, just to give you an idea of what it looks like when Pam Anderson talks to Megyn Kelly. Now here's part of the quote, part of the interview that we're going to pull from. She said that she did work with Harvey Weinstein on a movie where she was supposed to be like an invisible girl with an invisible dog. And she said, I love PETA. I'm not going to work with you if there's an actual dog on set. Harvey Weinstein, the producer on the film, called her and she said that he was super intimidating and yelled at her and said things like, you'll never work in this town again. So she has experience with Harvey Weinstein. She did say to Megyn that the women who went to meet with Harvey Weinstein in the Peninsula Hotel in his hotel room, she said you should know better if you're sent to a hotel room alone on a meeting. And that Megyn said, but the women felt some sense of security because their agent set it up. And Pam responded, well, then the agent should have gone with them. You should never essentially go into a hotel room alone, especially if the guy answers in a bathrobe. So, I mean, what do you guys think about her response to this?
I mean, I think it's tough because although I think that it's important for everybody to have common sense about a situation, when you're putting it into the context of a job, you're going on an audition. I know for me, you don't know if it's gonna be one guy, when you're going into your audition, if it's gonna be a group of guys, if it's gonna be women, if it's gonna be men. A lot of times you don't know. I mean, it seems like in a lot of these situations, they did know that they're going to meet Harvey Weinstein. But yeah, I mean, you do get a sense of security when your agent's like, okay, look, we have this audition for you. You're gonna go meet this person from this company. But I think it puts a lot of, I think it puts all the blame on the victim when you say, just have more common sense, protect yourself. And that also doesn't get to the root of the problem, which is how these people are acting. Yeah, so that's why I have a big issue with her opinion on this.
Yeah, the abuse of power, and it kind of seems like she overlooks a little bit too that there was also Harvey Weinstein's agent that you heard about a lot in the New York Times piece, or not Harvey Weinstein's assistant that was a woman that would facilitate some of these meetings. I think of the piece that Lupita Nyong'o wrote about how she felt okay because there was another woman at the table, and then you leave, and then it's like, oh, what just happened? And a lot of this stuff can, come at you pretty fast. And then if you're an up-and-coming actress and you're thinking, well, he has made these amazing Academy Award-winning movies, maybe he's eccentric. I don't know, like, who am I to judge? Hollywood is such a weird industry, unfortunately, of a whole bunch of weird, blurry lines and people that, have, he works better in his hotel room or some bullshit like that, which is bad. And I'm glad we're calling it out. But for Pamela Anderson to just say that you need to have, common sense about that, sure. I mean, sure, in a perfect world, but it sort of negates the issue that we were talking about.
Should there be new rules in Hollywood where like you can't do a meeting in a hotel room? Like Harvey Weinstein, you've been in Hollywood at the time for like a decade. Yeah. You'd been a big name for a decade. Why the hell don't you have an office? Like, why the hell are we allowing that to happen? But I totally get what you're saying. Like, I've been to, on sets where we do weird things. They're not inappropriate like that, but just like oh, suddenly like I have to change in front of someone and it's weird, but we always like closed it off. There was always that sense of common decency where it's like, oh, if this is going to make someone uncomfortable, we will do everything in our power to make sure they're not uncomfortable. But I mean, so what's the future for Harvey Weinstein though? But do you think he's ever going to recover from this? Because we just covered a story about Adam Wennett coming back after a month. What do you think is the backlash for Harvey Weinstein? Is he done?
I hope so.
I mean, I would hope so. I mean, like I was saying, with him, there was such a huge number of accusers that I think it would be. I don't think it would be good for whoever would want to hire him. I don't think actors and actresses would want to work for somebody like that again, who has such a negative cloud about them, and is obviously such a troubled, disturbed person.
I'm trying to find a way to also thinking about that, just how intense the terribleness was. But like, how do I give the benefit of the doubt to Pam Anderson? I think the only way to give her positive feedback is like, it sounds like people's moms are like, it's just how it was back then.
Right.
She's saying that's how it was, deal with it. I get the idea of saying like, put yourself in the best position not to get, this happen to you, but.
No, it is, and I agree with that sentiment as well. I think that she seems to be coming from a place of experience, and she also doubled down and had some strange sort of Instagram posts as well. She's done amazing work for animal advocacy. I don't want to diminish that. I don't think that she is a cruel, malicious person that wants people to be assaulted. I think that she truly does believe that she is speaking in a way that is protecting women and whatever, and she also says that she was abused as a child, and I don't want to diminish that either, and her own experience, but I just don't think that we should be putting the onus on the women. We have to remember who benefits from having these conversations. Is it like who is benefiting when we say, come on, women, just be smart? It's not the right conversation to be having.
Gotcha.